What's going on? 64 Baltimore. Check it out, fellas. We got this old school 12 pack here. For expert use only, high-low, preamp, sideband delay, made in the USA. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so this thing came in here. This, for those of you who don't know what a 12 pack is, very unconventional amplifier. This one here's in mint condition, and this bad boy came in dead on arrival, but the pills all look good. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen. You see what I'm looking at right there? That's the old school Toshiba non-red dot originals, 9 Golf, 9G lot, through and through, and to include the 2 pill. So 2879 Japanese soldiers driving 8 Japanese soldiers. We got a little fire team freaking driving this daggone squad right here. Bam! That's what I'm talking about. So this damn box, it looks a whole lot different than when it came in. It had this, first off, I'll start off with, in troubleshooting this thing, I couldn't even talk through the relay. Just the radio. Couldn't talk through this thing. So we had a couple burnt components in here. These 2 inductors in the middle, 1.5 microhenry, I believe. So I wanted to keep it all original. This is a very beautiful box, original Toshibas, probably a high value. To some folks, they pay a lot of money for these Toshibas. They'll pay a lot of money for this box, right? But anyway, this was in the back of the board here, and I tried, to change out some components that were bad, and check out the trace on the back. Everything's good. I think the relays were blown, and I got tired of messing with it. So we went to a conventional relay setup here, input on the left, output on the right, and we had to rebuild because the preamp is on here as well. So we had to we rebuilt the preamp, brought the feeds over, and shot them back over. But anyway, this 2 pill section. So once I did the relay in the preamp, everything was working. I was talking through the relay, fired it up, and I got 500 watts. That's okay. We're doing some watts. The pills were getting warm, so I knew that all the pills were good. I could I could put a little multimeter and check the voltages, making sure that they're turning on, and all the pills were fine. So it had a 1-inch output transformer and a 1/4-inch input transformer. I believe they probably originally had 2290s in there. So I put upgraded the output transformer to a 1 1/4 61 and a 1/2-inch 61. This is a typical 2 pill design here, 3 and 3, or 3 and 2, excuse me. And put a 1000 puff metal clad on there, 120s, 330s, the typical 2 pill. And I had it feed over to the relay. I bypassed the 8 pill, make sure the 2 pill was working, and it was doing 200 watts, good to go. So then, unfortunately, the way this is designed, and I tried to build a matching network that the 2 pill would come out, output tune, flip back around to a resistor input tune to the 8 pill. They didn't like that. The resistors got real hot, and I just knew that was going to be problems down the road. So I went back to the original design with the trimmer cap coming straight off the ground and tapping into the input of the 8 pill, and it also adjusts the output of the 2 pill. So this bad boy is going both ways here. It's helping this guy out and helping this guy out. So it kind of, it kind of smooths them both out. It's not ideal. It's hard to check and evaluate, but it is what it is. That's the way this box is designed. It's not conventional at all. The windings are very high. There's like 5 turns. Okay, there's as an example, the input splitter. There's no 270. There's no trimmer cap on the input splitters. The main splitter has a cap, as I mentioned this one right here. Same thing on the output. Right, so 4 pill section, output combiner. 4 pill section, output combiner. And they all come into this main output combiner, the primary, and there's no caps. So I believe they unconventionally achieved the impedance match for the transistors with the high wrap count. Okay, we got some good transformers here. They're 1.25 inch. That's what we typically use. Or the larger, the 5/8 ones. But the cap values were 680s. We typically see 1000s. These aren't 1,000. These are actually 940s, and I'll explain why later. But so getting 500 watts, rebuilt the 2-pill section, got about 600-700 watts, tuned these bad boys, boom, got it up to 800. Okay. Then I would say, okay, I got the 2-pill section working good, getting about 800 watts out of this bad boy. What else could be going on? So watch a few videos. So shout out to Gatekeeper for giving me the idea. I probably would have thought about this myself, but you know, I'll give the credit to the man. He's been helping a lot of the folks out there in the CB community, and I really enjoy watching his videos. And so anyway, originally they had this 4-gauge. Now this is the original 4-gauge, but I've modified it for a battery connection that my buddy's going to use with an Anderson connector later. But essentially that 4-pill or that 4-gauge came in, whipped around over here, went through a fuse, and then from that fuse another 4-gauge came in and tapped down in the center. Had a little piece of wire, coming off that 4-gauge in the center. It's crazy. We all know that ain't right, man. We can do better than that. Here's an example of a B plus transformer power. All of them, all the transformer had this little rinky-dink thing right here. On all of them, this little thing right here. It's crazy. So anyway, as you can see now, we got some 12-gauge, some ferrite coming off. So what I did was I put a 1/2-inch phenolic on top of the original B plus feed. Put 4 10-gauge in right by each one of the transformers there. Brought in with this 12-gauge coming across here to feed the 2-pill. Now it's got its own feed right here on the circuit board. It looks like it's had a tough time in the past. Someone put a whole bunch of solder on there to strengthen it up or repair it, but that was risky to me. That was just too risky, so went ahead and put some 12-gauge in here, ran it nice and neat, came up and tapped into the back of that 2-pill. But anyway, after doing that, no more watts. Still 800, 850. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So let's take a look at the ground. So, you know, this originally it had this little screw. This is the original screw and bolt or nut and washer. It had an 8-gauge wire, or I'm sorry, a 4-gauge wire coming off. Look at that little screw. That's all it was. That screw hooked into the cabinet, the back of the cabinet here. That was the only ground it had, right? So, you know, it's grounded to the heat sink. You got a couple other screws here at the pills. You got a screw here, a couple of screws all throughout, screws in the middle. So it's got a good ground. It's grounded to the heat sink and everything, but that just wasn't enough. As you know, that ain't gonna be enough right there. So I came over with a 1/2-inch braided strap, soldered to the board. You'll see the ground comes over, it comes down in. It's pretty solid. There's a screw there, you know, so it's got a good ground. Put that in there, nice and neat. I came up and over because these traces here, we got the relay power and the sideband delay coming in. I didn't want to short them out, so I came over. I didn't want to affect them in any way, so I came up and over. And still, same amount of watts. What the hell's going on? So, saw another video. I want to shout out to BBI. You know, he helped me understand. You know, originally we had this little gap. See this gap right here? There's a gap. This is the output coax coming in. There's a gap. It had these two 1,000 puff capacitors in series, and it would hit this other coax, and this coax would feed the output to the relay. So, and it also had some tuning caps right here on the side. So these were in series, the two 1,000 puffs, and then we had 75 picofarad for tuning. Took all that stuff out, messed around with a couple different varieties of inductor coils. And I started off with a 4, then I went to a 6. 6 was doing well, 4 not so much, and I ended up settling for 5. So 14 gauge, 5 turns, bridging that gap right there. So inductance coil in series. And then just a little fine tuning, put a 15 picofarad in there to get the SWR straight, 1.25 across the entire band 1 through 40. So, and then we noticed we had some issues with the capacitors here. They were 680s. We upgraded them to 820s. These kind right here, and it started getting extremely hot. I was afraid they were going to break down over time, so we went with some metal clads. I mentioned I was going to talk to you about this. So these are rated at 1,000, but they were just a bad lot. I just got a bunch of them, you know, and these ones here are all 940s. Just happened to be too low for my use, but hey, they worked for this. I'm glad I saved them. And so now we got metal clads, 940s, 939, 940 across these transformers here. This one here is 1,000. And hey man, this thing's running cool. It does get a lot hotter than it did when it first started off, but it's drawing a whole lot of amps. Started off drawing about 60 amps. Now this bad boy's drawing about 115 amps. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Let me go ahead and turn this amp meter on. DC. All right. Y'all can see that. Good. All right. We're running at about 14.9. All right. And we got a Galaxy 959 doing about 25 watts. Input reflect is, that's a 1 watt. This whole scale here is 1 watt. So I got it set. You see right here, 0.01 with a multiplication factor of 10. This is a 4410 alpha. Very unique meter. It allows me to kind of give me a range of different values, but the lowest value, 0.1 times 10, is 1 watt, full deflection. Here is the reflect. I can find a hand mic. Reflect. Oh, so a 10th of a watt reflect. I ain't never had nothing better than that. Pretty damn amazing. SWR is preset for you guys. All right, SWR right there. That was preset. That's SWR right there. See that? That meter looks a little low right there, don't it? Hold on a second. What the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on here? Shit, man, I ain't messing around. I got these mud ducks going. They're gonna call me out. Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. Bam. All right, that's channel 20. All right, so let's go to watts. Bam. Might gain up a little bit. Boom. There we go. All right, top scale. 10 is 1,000. Oh, audio. Oh, audio. What's that, 1,300? Shit. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so there you go. There's a reflect. Oh, 10th of a watt reflect. Oh, 1,300 watts. Let's see what we got on the amps. I see that. Here we go. You see that? Man. Oh, about 126 amps. Oh, good little movie. God damn. All right. Well, there she be, man. And let me tell you, this box was, extremely challenging. But when you got Toshibas, look, man, I was so nervous about working on this thing. I did not want to blow one of these damn beautiful Toshibas, man. So I took my time. It took me long time to get this box right. And I'm glad I finally got it, man. I'm very happy. So hopefully my buddy down in Baltimore will be happy. Get his box back running good. He's going to be dropping that mall. So watch out. There's going to be a 12-pack dropping a mall on you duck pluggers here pretty soon. All right, y'all have a good evening, man. And stay safe out there. 64 Baltimore, and I'm back quiet. See ya.